Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. We are going to look at your next big change because of Pluto and Aquarius. So this is going to be a Pluto and Aquarius reading, basically. And Pluto will be entering into Aquarius on November 18th. You have this Chop Wood card and this Y card in your first row here, which is just going to be your general energies during Pluto in Aquarius. And so a lot of you, I mean, it makes sense to me that you have that Chop Wood card. I do think that you are probably going to be doing a lot of work, or you're going to be kind of more busy over the next 20 years or so, probably because, Pluto in Aquarius is very innovative, and it also is it's like very good for your creative energy because it's coming up in your 12th house, which I believe is going to be really good for Pisces, especially for those of you that are creative or, that want to work on creative projects or creative, ideas or businesses, but it could also, be just personal projects as well for self-fulfillment. And so I think for a lot of you, that again, it's an amazing time to work on your creative ideas or creative work. These things will probably, lead to more abundance or just even more fulfillment in general. And so that's what I would be doing. You also have this Y card as well, by the way. And, I don't know. I kind of do feel like it is a time of answers for Pisces where you could be, anything that's been a mystery to you, you could be getting answers on those mysteries over, not even the next 20 years. I would say, over the next couple years. We have Neptune leaving Pisces as well, right at the beginning of 2026. I think Neptune and Pisces is very confusing for everyone, including Pisces, even though Neptune is supposed to rule Pisces, but I don't think Neptune rules Pisces. I think Jupiter, which was the ancient ruler of Pisces, is still the ruler of Pisces. I've looked at a million Pisces charts, and in every single one, I can see how Jupiter rules their chart. So I think that Neptune leaving Pisces is going to break the illusion. It's going into Aries, which is going to bring more clarity. And so you could be getting a lot of answers even now, even though Neptune hasn't left, it's getting to the end. So we could be breaking that illusion. Plus we have Saturn in Pisces as well. And Saturn in Pisces is kind of like encouraging the work on a dream, but, especially with Neptune there. But again, it could be helping kind of break any illusions that you've been dealing with. You have the Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and the Fool. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction, and so there could be like a big change coming up for a lot of you with this Seven of Pentacles. He's looking at these Seven Pentacles, and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? So he's wondering if the work he's been doing is worth it or not. And again, it just doesn't surprise me that you would be thinking about changing your work in some way. And that doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily be leaving your job or, leaving your career or your business. But again, Pluto moving into Aquarius is a new era. It is a big change for sure, especially when it goes into Aquarius. It's probably maybe one of the most powerful changes that we will ever experience, and most people don't, because it takes 200 and whatever years for Pluto to make a full circle, basically. So most people never even experience the transition from Capricorn to Aquarius like Pluto is doing right now. And when Pluto enters into Aquarius, it's kind of like shooting out from Earth. It's going as far away as it possibly can. It's starting its journey to get to its farthest point. And so, again, it's a big change time. But I think a lot of you could be looking for more fulfillment in work during Pluto and Aquarius, going Ace of Wands to the Nine of Cups. This also, again, with the creativity, Ace of Wands is very creative, so a lot of you during this time could be, one of your next major changes could be that you are looking for something that allows you to express your creativity. Or again, if you don't have to change anything. You could still be doing the same job or career you have, but you might just be looking to change it so that you can be more creative, but still keeping the same thing. You have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores. I do think it is better for you. I mean, I think most Pisces that are alive today, it's like, imagine, just play a game with me here, Pisces. Imagine if you're in heaven, it's like you get to choose your life, right? And I think a lot of Pisces that are here on Earth right now, it's like they chose to get the hard things out of the way up front. So it's like maybe your life has been hard up into this point. And, I think this is always true for Pisces, but it just seems to me like at this time of history, that if you're over the age of, 18 or so, I would say that you probably chose to get the hard things out of the way up front. And I'm not saying your life is going to be easy, but I do think that there is a nicer flow coming in for Pisces, especially over the next 20 years. And again, nothing will be perfect. We're just not in a perfect time. And, so I'll say that, but I do think things are improving. I think you're just ready for the new as well. You have the Fool, You go from the Fool to the Ace of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups, you have the Magician. These are all cards of new beginnings and starting new things. So I feel all of this is just saying you're ready for this new era. I feel like you've been being prepared for Neptune and Pisces for a very long period of time. And, again, this is a good thing. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, again, don't stay stuck in comfort zones. I'm not too worried about this for you, Pisces, because Pisces is a mutable sign. Pisces is pretty flexible. But I would just say, don't get stuck in comfort zones, and also I would push yourself just a tiny little bit. I would do those things that are just a little bit hard, especially in any area of your life that you're trying to grow. It's like that, just little extra push. We're not talking about, grinding or anything like that. We're just talking about just a little bit extra, I think will make all the difference during Pluto and Aquarius. With the Six of Swords, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is really a card of tactics. I always say it's not a bad card. It's a golden card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. And he is sneaking away with those swords from this army in the background. And again, Pluto and Aquarius will be extremely innovative for you, Pisces. So any of your wacky Pisces ideas, it's like now is the time to try those ideas. He is doing something in a different way. So if you come up with ideas to do things in your life in a different way, those things are going to be what makes you grow the most and probably leads to the most success. With the Fool, you have the Ten of Swords. I just feel like you're finally closing things out. I don't feel bad about this at all. Ten of Swords really isn't a bad card anyway. I mean, it's a card of something being dead, done, over with, and you're just moving on to the next stage of your life. And again, we have the two Aces and the Magician. These are definitely new beginning cards, and I think you're just ready for a new beginning. The interesting thing here as well that I feel for you, Pisces, is I feel that this is a time, it's going to be one of those times or a change where you're actually going to feel the change. It's like sometimes I think there is a change, but we don't really notice it all that much. And I think Pluto and Aquarius is something that you are going to notice. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you for Pluto and Aquarius, you have this Mantis Shrimp. It says combat, vision, vibrant, vibrational sensitivity. Very sensitive. You have the High Priestess showing up here. So I think you really need to trust your vibrations. You have this Pigeon. It says channeling, home, and gentleness. So both cards, channeling and vibrational sensitivity, right? Very intuitive. It's like you're tapping into your intuition even more than you already do. So I would definitely pay attention to your messages, your intuition, your thoughts, the direction that your mind is moving. I believe our mind moves in a direction. It's like if most of your thoughts are negative, you're moving in a negative direction. If your thoughts are positive, you're moving in a positive direction. And I kind of feel like this is about, focusing on things that obviously get it going in the right direction. You have the Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands, and King of Wands. If you want love, by the way, there definitely could be a very passionate connection coming in for you during Pluto and Aquarius. Could be a very transformative connection as well. Probably very different than what you've experienced so far. So that's definitely jumping out at me. I think more importantly this is talking about boldness, right? King and Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands has to be bold and assertive. The King of Wands is bold and assertive. And the Ace of Wands is about confidently moving towards a passionate new beginning. So it doesn't matter what is coming in for you. I think that you are embracing this new energy of being bold, assertive, standing out. Now, you have this card says combat on it. And I've been saying this to you all year that I feel for Pisces, the people, it's like when Pisces changes, I think Pisces in particular changes. People are like, who the hell are you to stand up for yourself? Who the hell are you to not be my emotional sponge, right? So you might notice that people are being combative, or you might notice that people are, calling you out for the changes that you're making. And I think the trick for you is, Pisces shrinks when people criticize them. Pisces pulls in to center whenever they receive criticism, or whenever something happens, like a person breaks up with you, or anything like that. Pisces has a tendency to shrink. I think you need to go the opposite direction and expand. It's like, of course people are going to criticize you, but it's like you can't prove anything to anyone, and you don't need to either, is what I feel like this is saying. It's like saying that your true nature and who you are. But one thing that I will say that's like a little bit of a warning in this reading is like I think you will have people who are like calling you greedy, or are saying that you're this or you're that, like trying to put a label on you. But those people are just reflecting themselves or trying to project themselves on you. And so I think you need to realize that and just ignore the criticism and things like that. You have the Ace of Wands, again, those creative ideas I would be embracing any creative idea you have. That's what's going to lead to the most success, growth, abundance, pretty much everything for you Pisces over the next 20 years. And, I would definitely embrace it. And you can take advantage of this right now. So you don't have to wait. It's not like this is going to take 20 years. This is, the whole entire 20 years. You're going to enjoy this energy. So, I would be embracing your inspirations. The Ace of Wands is usually something that like inspires us. It, pops into our existence like an idea, a plan, a goal, a wish, dream, whatever. And we have to chase it. We don't have to chase it. We actually just have to embrace it. And it's like a fire. The Ace of Wands is a spark, and we just have to keep putting wood on the fire, meaning energy, and it will grow. You have the King of Wands. Again, I think you are kind of like being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. And, I think you're going to be noticing better results as well with this King of Wands energy. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, Nine of Wands definitely says don't give up. There is a little bit of that energy here of not giving up. But again, we were talking about that shrinking energy. I think those are the moments where you will give up. I'm not saying you will give up. I'm just saying if there, is a moment where you would, it would be during those moments. And I think you just have to tell your brain, this person's trying to get me to shrink. It's just that simple. And you just need to not give up on the things that you're working on. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. Again, I actually feel like you're you're more flexible even than you normally would be. The Two of Swords, she is only looking at things from a limited perspective, and she has this new island behind her, and that new island represents like a third place solution or a different way of doing things in her life. And so I feel a lot of you could be opening up to new solutions or different ways of doing things in your life. With the King of Wands, you have the Hermit. Yes, it is definitely time for you to glow. And so I would say that you've probably been through a difficult period of time. The Hermit has gone through a dark night of the soul, and now he's shining his inner light at the top of this mountain, but he needs to shine that light out all over the place. He needs to make himself known. He needs to stand out. He needs to get attention. And that's what I would be doing with this Hermit card, is like standing out. Don't hide your inner light. I think it's very tempting, especially for Pisces, to stay in isolation as well. And I believe that he needs to come down from the mountain and be an inspiration. Again, the people that are going to benefit from your energy need you at this time. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, yes, you have this card. It says, have faith in your dreams. Definitely. Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces, I think most of you probably have a bigger vision for your life at this time because of that energy. And I feel like this is saying you need to have the faith that you can make it happen. You have this card that says bring love into the situation. Yeah, again, if anyone's criticizing you over the next 20 years, which will probably happen, again, I'm not going to, it's a very good reading, but I'm not going to sugarcoat that part of it. Just, have love and compassion for that person. But definitely, I think you need to realize I think a lot of you over the next 20 years are going to be realizing your full potential. You have the High Priestess. The High Priestess has no roof over her head, and she represents like unlimited potential. There are no limits to what she can accomplish. The only limit is herself. And so I feel a lot of you, really need to, like I said, just push it. Like, don't go crazy. You don't have to work yourself to the bone, but just push it just a little bit extra. I think that will help you reach your full potential. She also has this crown, which is 3 stages of the moon on her head here, and it represents the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of any situation that she enters into before she enters into it. So I think a lot of you, it could be very beneficial time for you to kind of really, see the beginning, middle, and end. Like you practice visualizing, right? I think that would be good for you as well. You have the Three of Swords. I am getting that some of you could be closing out a connection if you have a connection, or if you're kind of like already 1 foot out of a connection. It is popping into my head. One thing I will say about this Pluto and Capricorn, Pluto going into Aquarius energy, is that I do think that any like karmic stories we have, and I'm not talking about like a karmic, whatever the hell that means, right? I'm just talking about those stories that we repeat, even if it's with different people. And I think a lot of you could be closing out these karmic stories. Again, especially if you have like date the same type of person, or if the story of the person that you've been with or are with right now is similar to the past stories, then I think those are the stories that you're ending. You have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, very focused on fulfillment. I think it's an amazing time for Pisces to focus on their own fulfillment. And this doesn't mean you're like being greedy or anything like that. It just means that you are fulfilling yourself. And when you have a bunch of full cups, then you can give cups out to other people, right? So I think a lot of you are really going to be focusing the next 20 years on fulfilling yourself first, which is, of course, a good idea. You have all these cards that represent your vibrations as well. And the Nine of Cups is about being in alignment. So I think you could be entering into a time of like heightened manifestation for 20 years, and all you have to do is be in alignment with what you want, and you will get it with that Nine of Cups. With the High Priestess, you have the World. Definitely getting out into the world. I think you need to shine your light. I mean, I've said this to you for like 2 years at least, that with Pluto and Aquarius, I think you need to be an inspiration. You need to kind of do whatever you can to stand out. And, like I said, the right people will see you as an inspiration. The wrong people will call you names, right? And that's all you need to know. And I would just obviously ignore the people that call you names. With the Three of Swords, you have the Nine of Cups. Again, maybe you're changing your karmic story because you are focusing on your own fulfillment and you're realizing that you shouldn't be holding yourself back. This doesn't have to just be love. This could be anything that you do love. And, if you're not doing things that you love, then I see a lot of you kind of more focusing on doing things that you do love. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. These weren't meant to be love readings, but there definitely could be, for those of you that are looking for love, one of the big changes that could be coming in for you is like a really solid connection. Again, I think I already said this, but the Two of Cups is a person who's different than your usual type. So they're definitely, and we were talking about ending your karmic story. So obviously, maybe you've learned your lessons in connections. And again, this doesn't just have to be love. This could be all connections with all people. And I think you're realizing like who your matches are, and again, this could be like friendships, people that you work with, things like that. And so you really could be surrounding yourself with like different people, but again, good for love. Next, in the area of the good stuff that will be coming to you during Pluto and Aquarius, you have this Creator God card and this Silent Wisdom card. Pisces is silent wisdom, so I think you do have a lot of silent wisdom. I think the Creator God makes perfect sense. We were talking all about creation and how you are creating a lot of things at the over the next 20 years. You have the Ace of Cups, the Magician, and the Eight of Swords. I definitely feel your heart cannot steer you wrong during this time with the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is about focusing on flow. That Ace of Cups can easily reach down into the water below it and fill itself back up. So I feel for a lot of you, you could be entering into all situations that cause you to overflow. And really, based off this reading, that is the only thing I would focus on is flow. And I think if you do that, then obviously you will be fulfilled. You have the Magician, and the Magician kind of represents that says that you are the magician. I do think Pisces is a magician, really, in a lot of ways. The Magician is about reinvention. He has a snake around his waist right here, and it represents reinventing yourself. I think with a little bit of this criticism energy that I'm getting off of the reading, that whenever you change, of course, people are going to have something to say about it. But I think this is more saying that it's like confirmation that you are making the right changes. So I think that you need to listen to yourself and not other people. I also think that you have a lot of skills. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot, and so he has a lot of skills and a lot of tools that he can use for success, and that's what I feel like you're doing here. I also always pull the card he's pointing to, which we're going to say is this one, and you have this Centaur. It says, Untamed Nature, Marksmanship, and Master Teacher. Yes, you are the Master Teacher. You are teaching by being an example and being an inspiration. So I think that again, a lot of you don't have to teach anyone how to do anything. Just being an example, being a positive example, being a shining light is kind of like your job. And this card says marksmanship. I think the trick for Pisces is star card. We don't have a star card here. I'm just saying, right? The star is about having a North Star, having that one big goal, wish, dream, that one thing that you work towards and create, whatever it is, right? And by doing that, you are being a teacher. You are showing people that they can have a focus and make it happen. You have the Eight of Swords. It is coming up in the good stuff, but so I think you're really setting yourself free from anything that's been stuck in your life for a very long period of time, and you're just moving forward with that Eight of Swords. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Six of Cups. Definitely could be love coming in for you. Six of Cups is like a very childlike connection. it's like a very playful, fun, joyful type of thing. So I think that could be coming in for you. With the Magician, you have two cards. You have the Eight of Cups and the Page of Wands. You're definitely going on a new journey. I mean, a journey of fulfillment is really what we should probably call this reading, because, Eight of Cups is walking away from something that doesn't fulfill you. The Page of Wands is inspired, like the Ace of Wands, to go on a new journey and to find fulfillment. So I think you're just like on a journey of fulfillment. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Judgment card. Yeah, damn, Pisces. I think you're like waking up here big time. I really feel that some of you literally could be feeling more awake over the, right away, very quickly with Pluto and Aquarius. So if you've been feeling like a lack of energy, or if you've been feeling tired or exhausted, I feel a lot of you could be waking up here. I also feel that some of you are like really kind of just diving into your purpose, right? You have this originality card. Pluto and Aquarius is originality. So again, people don't like it when other people kind of step outside the norm, right? And so I think that your original ideas, yeah, people aren't going to like it, but they're also going to make you successful. You have this Fortune card. Yeah, definitely change in money, I think, for you. It's like that Capricorn energy is a little bit interesting in the 11th house. 11th house isn't considered a financial house necessarily, but it is kind of. It is a house of luck. And so I think a lot of you, your financial luck could be changing very quickly as well at this time. Next, you have this, I can't make this up, publicity. This is all about getting as much attention as you possibly can. Again, people are going to have something to say about it, but I would be doing whatever you can to stand out. And if you have a business, I would be trying to get as much attention as you possibly can on that business, because it'll just be very good for you. And so there you go. Next, you have this isolation card. Yeah, don't stay isolated. We have the Hermit here. We were talking about how the Hermit is kind of encouraging you to come down from the mountain. There could be a person coming in for you that really opens you up as well. So again, these weren't meant to be love readings, but there is a little bit of love here. And if you want it, there could be a person that pulls you out of isolation or something. Or it could be one of the big changes that's coming in for you. Next, you have this empathy card. I think you need to have empathy for yourself. I think you need to be kind to yourself. I also think, again, my one warning would be the direction of your mind. And so I think that if you're speaking negatively against yourself, then you're not being kind to yourself. And so I would just correct those thoughts. And it does take time, but if you start correcting those thoughts, I think you'll be moving in a much more positive direction. But I love this for you, Pisces, for sure. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your Pluto and Aquarius.